Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of My Project Hell. I'm Kelly Schockler, and our goal today is the same as it is in every episode. Use this next 20 minutes to bring you relevant topics, practical advice, without getting too bogged down in any corporate jargon, and offer you some useful solutions that you can apply wherever you're at in your project management journey.
And I'm Paul Thompson. And in this episode, we're jumping off the rails, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But throughout this episode, I encourage you, please join in the conversation by participating in the chat sessions. Add your ideas, thoughts, information. If you do have any specific questions for Kelly and I, throw those in the Q&A, and if we have chance at the end, we'll try to get to those. But if not, we'll also try to follow up with email. So where are we going today, right?
Where are we going today?
As PMs, right, our success often hinges on our working relationship with the project sponsor, the project owner. And in order to gain insights into that often overlooked role, we've asked Donna Anderson onto the show to get her insights. And over her storied career, Donna has held a number of senior leadership roles, and she's sponsored numerous projects. So in the next 20 minutes, we hope that we can learn from Donna on how PMs and their sponsors can better align and work in concert in order to have better outcomes with their project.
Hey,
welcome, Donna.
Welcome. I'm excited for this one. I think this is an important topic to really understand the role of project sponsor, project owner. So Donna, thank you for taking time out of your day to hang out with us for a little bit. And so I want to take us into this discussion by first asking you about your perspective on the project sponsor role. So in your mind and from your experience, what does being a good project sponsor look like? What are some of the key behaviors you think an effective project owner or sponsor needs to bring to the table on projects?
A project sponsor, as far as, can you hear me now? Sorry, guys.
Yes. Oh, sorry. We couldn't hear you. We were just kind of like, let's jump in. You can back up a little bit. Hey, Donna, welcome to My Project Hell.
Thank you for having me, you guys. So you're talking a project sponsor as far as, you know, a leader within the division, organization, etc. We very much rely on the success of our projects. We heavily rely on the intricate details at times, depending on if the project is on schedule or off schedule, and the criticality of our PM teams. There's nothing more more important to the organization as our PM team. So that's kind of how I feel from my standpoint.
And so when you think about that too, being the sponsor, what are some of the things that you specifically do as a sponsor in the sponsor role that helps bring that project success?
Well, prime example for today, within my current role, I'm the visionary of the organization. And what I do is really work to give the organization what it is that they need within tech and what their vision is, direct and guide their vision into the future. So there's a lot of planning with that, and there's a lot of understanding what the business needs. And sometimes it's understanding what the business needs before the business understands what they need. I mean, just to be straightforward,
right?
Yeah.
So Donna, it sounds like you see project sponsors, project owners as the strategic component for the business, and you utilize project managers to tactically execute on that strategic vision.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you think about that, right, that tactical vision, that tactical implementation side, what is it about the project manager that contributes, that makes it cost effective, right? Because as a project sponsor, you're going and getting dollars to pay for all this. And that includes the PM salary or contract or whatever. So what is it? How do you value their contribution, and what is it that really makes it worth paying for?
My PMs are my trusted advisors. So if I go in and, present to my senior leadership the costs associated with the project, I better make sure that I deliver on time every time. And my PMs make that successful for me.
Gotcha. Is there, so given that, they kind of own that component, is there a way to put a dollar value on that, or how do you justify the cost of the PMs?
Their success is my success is their success. It's invaluable to me.
Mhm.
And the way you associate the costs, or actually your return on investment for that, is delivering on time every time. And if you don't deliver to your word, I'm very much deliver to what I speak to, and make sure that there is success within that team, so that the team can feel really good about what it is that they're delivering, and really celebrate their successes to those deliveries. So I don't know if that answered your question.
I think you nailed it, right? Return on investment, because you're investing in the role of project manager on your project to take on that, just like you would hire managers and operational folks, right?
Exactly.
These folks have to bring return on what you're paying.
Exactly.
And
I,
Donna, go ahead.
oh no, and I am very much dollars and cents. And I really like to focus on what cost savings technology brings. So that also includes our PM team. You do pay for the PMs, and you need to make sure that the PM can deliver. Delivery.
So it sounds like you are in an organization that has some degree of project management maturity and maybe PMO maturity, which is nice, because there's places that don't have that, and they really do have to justify what cost effectiveness for having a PM on their project, and they have to get down into some really, granular justification. So I have a question for you. If you look back over your career and you think about the wide variety of tech projects that you've sponsored or owned, is there one project that comes up to mind when I'm talking about this that was most successful? And when you think about the PM who was on that project, how did they contribute to that success?
Oh, I have one in particular. It was the PAN project. And actually it was run by your guys' team. And what really stood out the most to me is the fact that my PM came to me when there were problems before I found out through the grapevine. So it allowed for me to right side the issue that we had, and to move ahead of, a potential failure or disaster, or, any particular issue that he brought forward to me. I felt very comfortable with that project because I didn't have to worry about it. So when you find out things through the grapevine that causes you issues, or when you have an outage and you didn't know that there was going to be a potential outage, this individual would tell me, "Hey, Donna, there's risk in this one. You need to brief your management team and say, hey, we need to have a window here for this type of maintenance." And The trust that it gained within the organization was invaluable.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely sounds like transparency is huge for you.
Yeah.
It is. Everyday living and in business, yes.
No surprises. That's a PM. That should be at the top of the PM's values list. No surprises.
Yes, be there. He was also there all the time. I mean, he was present, he was representing my team, his team. It was a true partnership.
That's great. So you did, before we leave this topic, because you did sort of bring up that concept of transparency. As a project manager, it's hard sometimes to give bad news. How do you help PMs and just the whole team? How do you help them feel comfortable that, you're in this with them, as opposed to, you're gonna smite them down?
It's building that rapport, it's building that relationship, and it's a two-way trust. So, if the PM knows that I am an advocate for them, they in turn are an advocate for me. And it's just nurturing a good, healthy relationship. And the only way an individual really understands that you're there for them is when you're actually there for them. You show it.
Actions speak louder than words, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, so we've talked a lot about the things you value. Are there any lessons that we can learn from where the project manager was doing things that you would prefer project managers avoid? Oftentimes those can be more learning experiences than anything. Do you have some stories there?
Oh, I have some huge stories there. There's an organization that I am supporting that they're not as mature as what I've experienced in the past, in fairness to them. But I think people get complacent. I think individuals really work through their level or their ability to manage. And how do I say this with diplomacy? And if they don't have a lot of background and understanding as to how to PM for an organization, especially a large organization, there's a lot of excuses. It's not as proactive, it's reactive.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing that drives me more nuts than having a reactive response to a huge business because we forgot something. No, I don't chastise my PMs. I try to mentor them and grow them. But internally, it causes me strife, and it also makes it so that I have to micromanage. And, program manager, you should not have to do that with.
Right.
The other thing too is having the right PM to drive success. So if you have a PM that has no technical knowledge, there is no way, for specific projects, there is no way that you can get past the hurdles of, oh my God, the team forgot to do this, and this is gonna perpetuate a domino effect throughout this whole project. And until you get to a milestone, you won't know it. It catches you. Again, that surprise factor, the OSHIT factor. So, and then sometimes you don't need PMs that have a deep technical knowledge, but they know their way around the politics.
Yeah.
They understand how to follow through. And they have kind of an intuition about them to come back and status out. So the other side to this is when they don't understand politics, it's hard for them to understand when they're in trouble until they're already in trouble.
True.
So yeah, and that hurts. It hurts both the PM and myself. And we're in it together till the end. So how do you justify to senior leadership that your PM is actually good when they're outward facing and there's some problems, that management is able to pick off really quick because they're not only serving me, they're serving the organization.
I like that you said that you're in it together with them. Can we please clone you as a sponsor? And then we're going to take you around for some sponsor 101 training.
I would like to take you guys everywhere. I'm telling you.
So I have a question. Has there ever been a project that you've been sponsor owner of and you start out and you're seeing red flags with the PM that might have been, maybe you didn't have any input on who was selected? Because we all know, right? Resource bandwidth, you get who you get. Have you ever run into that? What was starting to crop up as a red flag and how did you handle that?
Where I'm at now, so the immaturity, the first red flag to me is when a PM comes to me and says, your team is just really too busy for this. Okay, justify that. Explain to me where you came up with that, because you're managing this project and I've got X amount of projects in the hopper with 30 people. So why are you coming up with that? And I've had an individual say, hey, that's what your leaders are saying. Well, there's organizations, I'm being really transparent here. There's organizations where you have leaders that are not mature either. And their constant is, I'm busy. And the PM is taking that for, truth without understanding the overall. And so they're blocking for those individuals. So the project suffers. And the red flag is when a PM is telling me that about my business without understanding my business more than what I understand it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
It sounds like they're kind of focusing on your stuff rather than cleaning their house first and then being able to help you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we're just about out of time, but I have one last question that I really think everybody would be interested in. So real quick, what is the one thing you'd like to pass on to up and coming PMs to understand how to better work with their project owner? What's that one thing for someone new starting out in project management?
Two things. Be very professional.
Okay.
And understand that your project owners, the individuals who own that project, is there to support you. So open, honest communication.
Good advice. Good advice.
Some great takeaways today from this discussion. Thank you, Donna. I think when we as PMs seek to better understand the various roles in our projects, like the sponsor owner role, we're adding to the likelihood that we're going to have better collaboration and more success in our project outcomes. And I really wasn't kidding about having a sponsor training. If any of you are in PMOs that don't have that, think about a mini, even if it's a one pager, here's what we expect from our sponsors.
Yep.
Because sponsors like Donna are treasures. So
That's
Aw.
right.
On behalf of all of My Project Hell listeners, we really appreciate you coming on today and helping us get insight into that critical role.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and I'm honored.
Thank you, Donna. And yep, it is time for us to wrap up this episode of My Project Hell. I hope everybody enjoyed it as much as Kelly and I did. I know Donna gave us some good insights, so we're going to have a few takeaways. Remember, you can catch up with any of the episodes you might have missed of My Project Hell on our YouTube channel. You can also check out our website for more information. And guys, don't hesitate to hit Kelly and I up anytime for a free 30-minute consultation if you do have questions or things you want to talk about in your projects.
Yes, and we encourage you to join us next time in a couple weeks when we're going to get back to that hot topic of how to handle the project that never ends. And we're definitely going to connect with another outstanding guest PM in our Coaches Corner. For those of you attending live, take the survey that's going to pop up when you close out your session, and we'll see you next time.
All right, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.